And hello everybody, welcome to the channel. We're going to do something a little different today. We are going to be taking a look at some freeware scenery from Orbix. Now I am always the last to know about all this stuff, so forgive me if this is a little bit dated, but the reason I'm sharing this is because I actually been messing with this scenery for about 3 weeks, trying to figure out where all three of the grass airstrips were located. So this is the beautiful 7 Whiskey Alpha 3. This is West Wind in Washington, created by Tom Brooks. And the reason why I downloaded this was, first of all, just to change the pace, try to do something a little different. But also it advertised that there were 3 airfields that came with this download. And so I got this one, flew around a little bit, had some fun, was able to figure out without too much trouble that the second airfield was 4 Whiskey Alpha 8, which is Riverside, but I could not for the life of me figure out what the third airfield was. And in fact, I just kind of accidentally stumbled upon it, and I want to show you guys where it's at, because it took me a long time to find it, and when I was searching through the forums, I think that there were other people that were also looking, and you know, so maybe this will help. I apologize for poor quality. It'll be bad frame rates, it'll be all that good stuff. The only thing worse than that will be actually my flying, so yeah, I'll just apologize right up front for that. But again, it'll be entertaining. The lack of quality in video and aviating skill will hopefully be compensated for in the laugh that you get watching me try to get in and out of these small airstrips in the sky lane. So anyway, here we go. Just conditions on the ground here. Actually, winds are pretty minimal. We're 040 at 2, so we're just going to kind of take a straight-in approach to wherever we are going today, and we're actually going to be flying from West Wind to the unmarked airstrip first. And so, you know, I'm not a very good short takeoff and landing guy, but I'm going to do the best I can here, and we'll give her a couple notches of flaps and we'll get started. My lights are all on. I don't need landing or taxi lights right now, so here we go. Trim looks pretty good. Oh, stay on the runway. Right now we're heading basically north, and I'm going to try to show you a few landmarks that will help you out along the way. Go ahead and slow down, get it trimmed out. 1 notch of flaps. We'll actually keep 1 notch of flaps the entire time, and we'll try to keep our altitude at about 500, because all 3 of these airfields are actually that close together that you're basically kind of in approach mode the whole time. So you don't want to go very high, you don't want to go very fast. If a guy had a Piper Cub or something, you know, you'd be in business here. But the Skylane's been fun also, and so I may bank it a little harder than it's designed for, but yeah, it's okay. So find the unmarked airport. You're going to fly south down the river, and the airfield is going to be off to the right, just barely off of the river. I spent days looking for it out in the many fields, the hundreds of fields that are actually a part of this scenery, only to just kind of accidentally find it flying down the river one time, just having some fun. And I noticed that there happened to be a float plane parked along the river, and that's when the airfield jumped out at me, and the rest is history. So you'll go past the first 4-way stop that you see blinking there, kind of down at our 11 o'clock, and if you get to the bridge, you've gone too far. And actually, you may or may not notice it right now. I'm a little high, but we're actually lined up pretty well with the airfield right now. If I could keep it level, you can see a little bit of clearing there. So the trees are kind of notched out, and that's where we're heading. So we're going to bring the speed back, add another notch of flaps. And one of the things that's really fun about these airstrips is that they are sloped and bumpy, and you have to avoid trees, and I'm really enjoying it. I haven't done much of this backcountry flying. I'm definitely going to do more of it. Let's see how ugly this approach and landing ends up being. You'll see off to the left, you'll see the seaplane that I'm talking about, and again, that's what kind of caught my eye. And then when I circled back, I noticed the buildings and saw the airstrip, obviously, and brought her in for one of several very ugly landings, but still, it was nice to find it after looking for, honestly, I think it was almost 3 weeks. Go a little bit low, maybe. Final notch of flaps. Go. Overcorrect. And we're down. Yeah, not the prettiest, but we're on the ground, and let me take you up here to show you what it looks like. Super cool. I mean, it's fall, so you've got the wood-burning stoves going. You know, you've got a little house there and a barn and kind of a few trucks and static aircraft, and just kind of a neat. It's kind of a neat deal. Pull in here. Let you take a look. Again, I don't know what the name of this field is. I don't know what its identifier is. Looking at Sky Vector, I can't even find a name there. None of the forums that I was searching for had a name, so as far as I can tell, it's just a guy that carved a little strip out of his farmland, and anyway, it's kind of cool. So that's the unmarked strip. It's the one that's in between, and now we're going to go to 4 Whiskey Alpha 8, which is Riverside, and show you where that one's at. And again, it's not far away, so we'll keep everything kind of situated pretty much how it is. Oh, by the way, window open the whole time. That's not good. That's the kind of quality you get here on the Active. Attention to detail. This is kind of a fun departure because it's a little bit of a curved runway on the way out, and I need every last foot, so I'll take it. Okay, 2 notches of flaps. I had forgotten to check my trim last time. Trim looks pretty good. Full rich. Let's go flying. Not much wind, as you can see by the smoke coming out of the wood-burning stove. Down the runway. She's one to fly, and we're off. Oh boy. Again, we're going northwest, and we're going to come back around and down the runway again to the south. Slow things down a little bit here. Bring it up to a single notch of flaps, kind of trim things out, get it stable. It's not too bad to fly a little ways up the river here just to give yourself some room for the approach, because again the next airport, Riverside, is not far from the one we were just at, a couple of miles probably. It's by far the most challenging approach. There's power lines and trees right at the end of the runway, as well as a house, and so yeah, that makes for an interesting approach, and I have yet really to land gracefully there. I've tried probably 8 or 10 times. So alright, so landmarks. We're gonna again keep going down the river. There is our there's the airfield we just landed at. We're gonna go down to basically another left-hand bend in the river, and this time the airfield's actually going to be on the left. And what you're going to see is a little clearing coming up here ahead of us, and that clearing is where we're going to start to make our turn to final. Give ourselves a little bit of room here. Left-hand turn. Difficult to see, but it's just right over in this area here. Give ourselves some more flaps, bring our speed down so you can see the trees where there's a little bit of a clearing, and you can see the house, and we need to make it over the top of that house, over the top of those power lines. And there is our green grass strip next to the gray dirt road. I'm way too fast, way too high. This is going to be another ugly one, I can tell. See if we can get her down. Missed the power lines, which is good. Missed the white stake, maybe. Oh, a little bounce. Down, kind of off the side of the runway. Slide, slide, slide. Oh yeah, well, we're through. That's about what that landing normally looks like for me, but again, the point of this video is definitely not a tutorial on how to land a Skylane on a grass airstrip, but more about where to find these runways in this amazing scenery. So that is Riverside. And so now window's starting to frost up a little bit. It is chilly out, so we'll turn the defroster on and the cabin heat. Fly back to finish the video out. Fly back to West Wind 7 Whiskey Alpha 3. Let's see if we can make our way back up the river north and set things down back where we started. Alright, let's see here. Trim looks pretty good. Full rich, 2 notches of flaps. So this is a hard departure because we got to get up quick. Try to get over those power lines and that tree. She comes. Whoa boy. A little too aggressive on the takeoff. But we're up. We're over the trees, we're over the power line, and heading up the river. slow things down, bring it back to a single notch of flaps, and back up we go. Again, just for some landmarks, there is the middle airport, this first one we landed at. The unmarked, unnamed one, there's the flashing four-way light. We're going to go past that just a little bit. You'll see a big sandbar, and west wind is just off the right of the sandbar. Again, since there is very little wind, in fact now the wind is completely calm, we're just going to make straight in, landing basically to the north. Slow her down a little bit. You can see the sandbar right ahead. The field, you can see one of the white buildings off kind of to our 1 o'clock. The field is right over there. Put a second notch of flaps in, try to get our speed down a little bit here. I need to do a better job of speed management. That's partly what hurt me on the last landing. Bring the power back a little. There you can see our runway. Beautiful calm day, a little bit overcast but otherwise nice. Speed's looking better. Might even be a little slow here. Final notch of flaps. Overcorrecting like I always do. Bring it down. Ah, that wasn't too bad. We ended on a decent one anyway. Get her turned around, head back to shut it down and call it a day. So yeah, thanks for coming along with me. Again, please don't judge my poor flying skills or terrible video quality. Just wanted to share with you a little bit of what I'd found. I'm definitely going to fly many more of these types of flights. I've downloaded every freeware backcountry landing strip that I can from the Orbix website, and I mean there's a ton of them in the US, there's a ton of them in other countries, and I'm gonna definitely have some fun exploring those airfields, and hopefully I'll even get a little bit better. Maybe I'll put another video up once I figure out a little bit more how to land and take off, and yeah, but hey, I hope you enjoy, and hope you come up to this region and do a little bit of flying yourself, and if you end up doing better than me in your flight, post that video, tag me, and I'd love to see it. So anyway, have a great day.